Hello class, this is Alex Winza. This is my PowerPoint presentation for the overall research project that we have been doing for the last module. And I will get started. Alright, so I did my project on the concept and idea of overall health. My central question was formed around these three things: nutrition, timing, and mindset, in regards to working out, exercising, and just being able to develop your body using these three concepts to essentially better yourself. Now, my central question: how do you use timing, mindset, and nutrition to build your body? I was coming into this with a brand new, fresh outlook on it, as I have just begun to exercise myself. So I was curious, and it was cool to research the opportunity that I am currently in as of right now, and I actually learned a lot and that I can directly employ in whatever I'm exercising with. Specifically, just knowing how to time meals or time a workout session for whatever my goals are as far as exercise. So I will begin with timing your mindset. So you want to make sure you have a positive mindset, or as best as possible, and you will eventually attain your goals. And then finally, of course, you want your nutrition, as far as making sure that you're eating healthy, but also not knowing when to eat, specifically maybe before, during, and after a workout. I chose this topic because I just began to work out my body, and I think it's a very interesting topic, especially in the United States. Seeing things like obesity and healthcare and taking care of yourself are becoming a lot more important, or a lot more popular. I personally just wanted to know and learn a little bit more information, and that's where I went in to decide what my topic was. It's very important because it can help out not only my generation, our generation, or it can help past generations that are still around, and future generations as well, to maybe learn from the past, make sure we try to eliminate maybe some bad habits, or become just like a more healthy society. As far as what it relates to the course, I found that there are a lot of things that go into things, such as going into why you want to exercise, why you want to get maybe better, take care of yourself a little bit better. You just have to take it all into account, and based on what our course is, I think is just mostly about seeing how in the world how things are connected. So I will start next with going through the 6 articles I've picked, and I will go one by one using these questions. So the first one was called The Evolution of Analytical Chemistry and Foodomics. Now, foodomics is the discipline that studies food and nutrition through the application of advanced omics technology. Omics pretty much means anything under the biology discipline, with the last letters being omics. Pretty much what's happening is taking all the technologies to understand and study and analyze food and what happens to your body. Not just in a chemistry sort of way, but seeing things such as being able to detect toxins that might come from your body, or come into your body from pesticides, or come into your body through other chemicals that we might release into the air, or through maybe a bug, or we might be able to see certain genes that we want to analyze a little bit more. Now, overall, what happens is we can take the information we learn from foodomics and apply it directly to safer food, safer research, safer production of food for human consumption, which overall is helpful. Now, my next article was something called Time for Food, the Intimate Interplay between Nutrition, Metabolism, and the Circadian Clock. Now, the circadian clock is your internal body clock that tells you when to sleep, when to eat, things of that nature. And the interesting part in this one was that the circadian clock, at least from what I was being given examples of, the authors pretty much attempted to test different parts of the body and see what happens when you maybe give food before, during, and after a workout to see if it helps with muscle build. This being that when that happens, all of a sudden you have many different tests, and they ended up getting a lot of different information. Now, the central question of this was, how does the circadian clock help us in nutrition? And overall, this allows an understanding of the circadian clock keeps it so that way we can time when we eat. So that way we're not eating so much. Maybe we're fasting ourselves just enough to let the metabolism kick in. So that way we are able to get as many nutrients as possible without storing any extra calories or extra nutrients that we don't need at the time. One of the more interesting words was the word chrononutrition, which is time in relation to the food that you put in yourself, which I thought was pretty interesting. Now, my next article, or the article before, I want to say that it mostly helps on timing, as far as relating back to my central question, just knowing when to eat, when to exercise, when not to exercise, just taking all your factors in together allows you to figure out your best workout. Now, your nutrient timing revisited, which is the next article, is nutrient timing revisited. Is there a post-exercise anabolic window? Now, with these guys, their central question was, is there a post-workout nutritional phase that helps growth as far as muscle? Now, what the authors of this experiment was, they took a large group of people from a very large age range and just did controlled tests on both two types of groups to see what would happen, and they were both young and old. And it actually was found that depending on the nutrients you give someone, you could actually possibly increase muscle growth and results even during and even a little after a workout. Here is one of the tables that they presented as far as some of their experiments. But it was pretty interesting to see that they took such a large group of large group of people of all different age ranges, and it kept finding the same results. So it looks like they were able to answer the question. Now this goes again back to my question of how does timing help build your body? So again, this answers that question. Now, for nutrition attitudes. Nutrition attitudes for hostility, dieting, nutrition attitudes, and overweight and weight cycling men and women. The central question of this one was, how does the health of the body affect your overall attitude? This study was through the authors, and they took a 5-year period to study the relationship between hostility, dieting, and nutrition attitudes. The participants ranged from 20 to 60. And throughout the 5-year period, they just took a measurement of happiness overall to see just as a base point, and then continued to do so through those 5 years. It was actually found that those who were really healthy were going to be less hostile, a little less mean. It was found that there was frustration in people who are unhealthy, which is depends. It appears that your attitude does definitely affect your ability to maybe grow or exercise more or be content with who you are. But that's an entirely separate issue. In regards to my research question, I feel it's helpful because if you don't have the right attitude, you can't achieve what exactly you're trying to achieve. Now, for improving the results for nutrition and commentary on an agenda and the need, this central question was, how do we study nutrition and get it out to the people more? The author of this article wanted to get a plan together, and pretty much it was around these 3 principles: that there should be a system that helps generalize results, that of nutritional information, so that way everyone can have access to it to get the right information. There are so many things out there that you're not entirely sure if they're right, but his goal was to not only make a system, then communicate evidence, and then also he wanted to just change policies as well. But eventually it would take time. Now, his overall goal is to just get the right information to the right people so that way they can get healthier. Overall, pretty good idea. And this relates back to my central question because this goes based off of nutrition, a nutritional based look at my question. If you don't have the right information, you can't necessarily maybe understand what's exactly going on if you're not achieving what you want to achieve. Then my final article was parental support and the adolescent motivation for dieting. Now, I chose this picture because exercise definitely takes some motivation. The central question of this article was, how does the environment you were brought up in have an effect on your motivation to become healthy? And this study was on children, adolescents, and adults, and to see the viewpoint on themselves. Primarily, it was a study on basing it off of self-determination theory, and self-determination just means how do you control yourself. So overall, it was a look towards, say, your parents based on how you treat yourself. So if your parents are healthy, maybe you'll become healthy. If your parents didn't necessarily take care of themselves, then there might be some habits in your life that you maybe have took from them. But overall, the motivation comes essentially from where you were brought up. It was from what you were interested in. Maybe not necessarily interested in, more so what was around. It was all that you knew. But I figured this picture would be perfect. Maybe a little humor, but overall, my project was to just figure out how do we use those 3 things, timing, nutrition, and mindset, to build your body up. And here is my works cited. All images, except for a few, were used in Google, and those were based in the PowerPoint. You'll see the image URL at the bottom of the screen. And that is my project. Alright guys, thank you for listening. Have a good day.